Welcome to the final Pippa and the boys. Okay, let me send the link to a couple places.
Okay.
Let me see your body rolls. Let me see your body rolls.
I was gonna try doing that, just for nostalgia's sake, but I don't want this to be copywritten.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Brian, last time I was a stripper.
I kind of remember that. I also blur a lot of Aeolian out of my mind.
Okay.
What? You do that to me too.
Hello. Okay. So welcome to Final Tribal Council. You both have been here before, so you both know how this works. You will begin with your opening speech slash statement slash thing. To keep with alphabeticy that happened with this season, Brian, you will go first.
Okay. When can I start?
You can start when you're ready.
Oh, okay.
But soon.
Yeah, no. So hello, everyone. I'm sorry in advance if I stutter or anything. I'm not going to make you sit here for a year, though, so don't worry. I came into this game with one goal, and that goal was to make it to the end. I had done it in Aeolian, but didn't really know how the game worked at that point. I had almost done it in Lazio and made it to Final Four before being completely torn apart by the Final Three. And I'm here now with someone that I am so happy to have made it here with. This game was a roller coaster for a lot of reasons, not just emotionally, not just mentally. It was just a roller coaster. I started off on a villains tribe with, I don't think I knew anyone except for Linus, and it honestly made me so scared. I mean, I knew Tommy too, but it made me scared because usually you go into a game and you see a few people you know from the community, but I knew no one. So I kind of tiptoed my way into there, and the first few days I didn't really talk to anyone because we won, didn't have to. That was the only villains win that I can really remember. And day 4, we go to tribal council, and my name is being thrown around like pizza on a Friday. I am not used to my name being thrown around. I played all of Aeolian without my name being thrown around once. I played all of Lazio with my name only being thrown around twice, and one time I had an idol it was a mess. But I had my name thrown out on day 4. I found out later that there was an entire alliance created to just kill me on day 4. And I had to work fast. So I spent the better half of 24 hours trying to get my name off that chopping block. And my game starts there. Day 4, and my cute little alliance with Crow and Sarah. The two of them, plus Jonathan, helped me to work through that round and save my ass, and it got me to this point in the game. I continued with that little group of Crow and Sarah for the entirety of the game, and stood by them as much as I could. I flipped for Jaden at one point, but went right back to my roots, and that honestly was the best case for me, because Crow and Sarah were the two most reliable allies I could have found on the villains tribe. They never lied to me. They told me the truth when I didn't even want to hear the truth, and they kind of filled me in on some happenings in the game that I wasn't aware of, and I really appreciated that. This is also kind of a weird point for me, because I was on a villains tribe, but I seem to be one of the few just being very open about some things early on. The later game changes, but early on I told people like Ashley and Linus that they were going home, and that did put me in some hot water, but I didn't want to be the lying, backstabbing blindsider. That didn't work for me before. Why would it work for me now? So I told the truth. I told them they were going, and that's how I wanted to play the game. I wanted to play it from like that. Certain circumstances changed, and we get to the swap, where I'm thrown onto a tribe, the only tribe with not minority of villains, and the double tribal twist was probably the best case scenario for me. It helped me kind of grow certain relationships I didn't grow before. Due to my relationship with Stefan, I was able to get in with Johnny, and that was a supposed to be some sort of thing with Crow as well. And the four of us were some thing that helped me get through that round and got Isaac out of the game, a member of what everyone kind of just dubbed like a trio of some kind with Andrew and Pippa, just because they're in the same friend circle. That was the only time I went to tribal during that phase, so I didn't really have much game going on there, but I tried to continue keeping up my relationships with the family and mainly Drew and Stefan on the heroes side, or like the hero side. Come to the merge, I stood my ground a lot of times early on. When Kendall went home, I didn't vote Kendall off, even though I knew she was probably going home, but I also wasn't sure. It was a little iffy that round. The next, or 2 rounds later, when it was Sarah going home, I told Sarah, I'm like, I think you're going home, but I'm not voting for you. Like, I stayed true to Sarah and Crow above all else, and that was just, I was telling Sarah what was happening, but I wasn't going to vote for her. And this is also a point where I started lying a lot more. There were times where people would just say things to my face, and I'm like, you're just lying to me. During the Tommy round, he said I wasn't throwing out your name, went into the main chat and tried to paint it like he didn't do anything, but then I found out later from a lot of people that's exactly what he was doing. He was throwing out my name, and he was very confident that I was going that round. Then went 8-1. And the same thing happened during the Andrew round, where I needed to keep my lips shut. So I said, Trace is who I'm voting for. I don't really know what's happening. And then an idol was played on Trace. I don't know if that was a result of what I said. It could have just been Trace playing an idol on himself, but that was a hidden idol or some kind. But I think one round specifically where my game really shined was the final 6 round, where I was kind of put in a weird position where everyone was telling me everything. I was pledging this to this person and this to this person, and that was truly where the lies culminated. I had to lie to everyone to make sure that that plan went through exactly how it was supposed to go. When I got that power from Drew, we had to plan a way to make sure that Stefan, Pippa, and Trace had no idea what was happening. And Stefan did help in that, because Stefan trusted me so much that he kind of just said, no, Brian's being real. And so that happened that way. The following round, though, I knew I had to do some damage control, and when I voted Drew out, which was, everyone knows I even left the camera, it was the hardest vote for me all season, it was something I had to do, and I don't know if it proved anything to anyone, but I hope it proved that I was playing my own game. I was not here to sit and get second place. Even though I love Drew, I was not sitting here to get second place to someone who was playing a monumentally just, it's Drew. Like, everyone just said it's Drew, and that was the reason why he was being targeted. But everyone said they were voting for him if he made it to final 2, so I had to do that. And now I'm sitting here because final 3, I had Crow and I had Stefan. And I felt like either way, I was going to final 2. I didn't want to lose the challenge because I kind of wanted to prove something to myself. But I think losing the challenge was my best bet. If I had won that challenge, I would have fucked over someone. One of my closest allies in the game, I would have fucked them over. And that just would not have been anything good. Sorry, I'm a mess. In addition, although I don't like going this route, compared to Stefan, I kind of stayed with who I stayed with. I didn't flip, I didn't flop, I didn't do this and that. I kind of just stood true to who I stood true to. There were a lot of rounds where, like the Andrew vote, Stefan flipped because they wanted to vote for me. And then the next round, he flipped back when Junior went home. And it kind of just made no sense. It was just I don't understand the move, and Junior didn't seem to like that move, but yeah. And me and Stefan pretty much told each other everything about the game, so it was kind of like, no matter what was happening, like Stefan knew what was happening on my side, I knew what was happening on his side, so it was kind of a nice trade of information over there. Lastly, I also was a little bit of an underdog position because going into the merge, villains and heroes were kind of no more, but at the same time, the villains didn't have any power if they wanted to do something themselves because they didn't have enough numbers, minus Junior, who was with Andrew and Pippa, or everyone had said. And so the villains were just targeted 24/7, and I did what I had to do to make sure I wasn't the villain being targeted. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say, and I'm sorry if this is a mess. I'm a mess, so it kind of is me. Anyway, I'm done. Bye. Sorry.
Thank you, Brian. Stefan.
Taylor Wilson just started a live video. I feel very destroyed.
Me.
Okay, should I just start?
Yep.
Okay, excuse me if my headphones just start going to shit. Coming into this game, my last season was All-Stars, and honestly, I was embarrassed, to say the least, with how I played that. I played that paranoid. I played that scared. I was too afraid to do anything. So coming into this, I wanted to prove to myself that I could be a little more aggressive, and I could play and make big moves, and I could take control at certain points. But I knew in order to do that, I would have to start from ground one like I usually do in games. Starting in the hero version of the game, I knew that I would just need to be as social as I could, just lay down what relationships I could build, but I knew that I could not let like previous negative experiences with people affect who I aligned with, even if they were like not on my tribe, even if they were villains. And that's why I ended up checking and made an effort to talk to Tommy and Junior and Johnny, Junior, and Tommy. And they honestly became very crucial assets and people to me in this game, not only as friends, but also as allies. And it was through like the relationships I had formed with Drew and Johnny that I was able to actually get into alliances that kept me safe and unnoticed in the Heroes version of the game. Johnny got me into the Meninist alliance that existed on the Heroes tribe, consisting of him, Drew, Trace, Dom, and Ashton. And then we also were able to form the Solomon alliance on the Heroes tribe, consisting of Johnny, me, Andrew, Isaac, and Pippa. And that kept me safe, but it also helped me combat the Mega alliance between everyone in Solomon but me, and then the Malaysians on the Heroes tribe. And that was a majority, but I was still not in that, so it offered me a little bit of protection. But it also helped me come across my second idol, because that relationship I formed with Johnny, he felt secure enough with me to give me the idol clue, and we searched that meadow. And then even when he found it and he didn't know what to do, he still shared that with me because of the bond we had formed in this game. And I took what knowledge I had known from being a host and playing this game before to take the word that he gave me, plug it into the URL, and scoop up the Shokin idol. But I didn't stop there. I was going to at least try to be loyal. So I told him about the idol. I told him that I'd use it for us. And then heading into the swap, I had 2 idols. I had allies. And that set me up pretty good to make it to merge. Like going into the bronze swipe, however unbelievable I think me being a brawn is, I entered into that, and I had 3 other hero allies who weren't just heroes, but were also alliance members. And that, coupled with the fact that Johnny and I were close and were trying to work with Brian, like Johnny working with Brian on the beauty tribe, but me working with Crow on the brawn tribe, that helped me navigate the first vote more towards Cage. And then even so, that like would keep us safe for at least a round. However, when the bronze went to tribal again, I knew that we'd have to cut Crow. But then after we saw Crow throw the event in the mass chat, I knew I would have to think fast, because there would be a good chance that someone could have slipped him something. So I grabbed my Fukushu idol tight, and when Crow played that idol, instead of letting him have that power that night, I took control with my Fukushu idol, something that would have revealed, something that I thought was worth us. I saw the moment and I took advantage of it, because I was assuming merge was going to be next. So I needed to make sure I made it there, but I also made it with the people that I wanted to, because I knew people were going to be targeting Drew, because that's just what people do. Even if Drew hadn't done anything, he would have been the perfect meat shield. Like, I love Drew and everything, but he was the best protection in this game for me, because I knew Pippa would be targeting him and a bunch of other people were. So I was able to save Drew for a round, but then also take out someone who I was most unsure about in Ashton, but also take out someone who pretty much could have made it to finals, because he could have just taken one of these spots that I'm sure all of us wanted. So I made it to merge, and I made it with the people I wanted. And even without being immune, people still wanted to work with me. Like, all sides wanted to work with me. And through the first couple of votes, yes, I may have gone back and forth, but I was able to find the tribe dynamics, and I was able to be flexible. But I knew I still had to think about it steps ahead. And even though I was having like an emotional conflict trying to figure things out, I knew that voting out Kendall, I would be able to bounce back from it better than if I voted out Junior. Because if I voted out Junior, Sarah's side would have more power, and I knew they wouldn't want me later on. So I took out Kendall, how hard that was. And then when Johnny left, that's when like the game started to shift because so much control was open. But I also started to pick up, as soon as Sarah left, who the major power players were. We had Drew, and then we had Andrew and Junior, who were close together and were active members in trying to take Drew out. So that's where I decided, okay, I'll try the meat shield strategy. So I continued to play both sides, making it seem like I was on Andrew's side, but I was also on Drew's, even though I never really had too much loyalty to them. I still appealed, and that kept me safe. Even when Dom was blindsided and I felt like out of control and I felt like alone, I was still able to like go to Andrew, who I had been mostly truthful to that point, or so he thought. And I was able to find a weakness in who he wanted to take out, and I was able to level the playing field because then it became Andrew's 4 of him, Junior, Pippa, and Trace versus Drew's 4, I guess including me, and Brian and Drew and Crow. And then when the auction happened, my time to strike took place, and I had set this up with Brian beforehand. We were ready to take out Andrew because this was the time, because like Andrew had his hands in everyone's honeypots. It was insane. You know that, Brian. And then when the instant tribal happened, and I'm going to explain why I did that, Brian, right now. I was not going to let Drew try to steamroll and leave like the division in the tribes undone. Like, I also had betrayed Junior, and I wanted to like rebuild what I could with him, so that's part of the reason why I flipped. But the other reason was to make sure that there was someone actively going after Drew that Drew would actively go after. But because I was still trying to remain loyal to Drew, I had told him what I was doing. And while one event led to Junior's leaving the game, which made me sad because I wanted to fix things with him, which we can see I probably should have done better, it also got rid of Drew's idol and left him undefended. So I just saw my opportunity and I kept going forward. I had my new group of people who were going to be loyal to me and weren't going to vote me out. I had Pippa and Trace. And then I had Brian still with Drew and Crow. And like, despite being like a renegade from that group, I still had Brian keeping me safe, and he kept me safe through Final 6. And then I was able to get to Final 5 and systematically to Final 4 and help pull off one of the biggest moves in this game by crippling Drew, taking away his chance to win immunity, and we took him out. Then at Final 4, when all my defenses were gone, where I could not make another division besides between Trace and Crow, I knew I had to rely on my social relations. And that was why I got to that point with the people who I knew were loyal to me and would keep me safe. That's why I went with Trace, and that's why I went with Brian. And even though I had voted out Crow 4 times before that, I had been straight up with him for the most part, and I was more willing to talk to him rather than Trace was, which is what helped me keep me safe, along with Brian. So I was able to make it to Final 3 without having to worry about a tiebreaker challenge like I did in Aeolian. And then at Final 3, despite the relations I might have had with Brian and whatever relationship I had with Crow, I know the only person I could rely to take me to Final 2 was myself. So I studied that sheet. I studied that wiki. I made sure I knew those facts inside and out, even the wrong ones. And I was able to claim my spot at Final 2. I know that I have been very messy with emotions, but I tried to keep my emotions as separate as possible from the game. Like, there was emotional Stefan, and then there was game Stefan. And I tried so hard to separate that, but because emotions are so part of my personality, it sometimes got mixed in, and I feel like it comes off that I've betrayed you. But I betrayed you to get to a point. The whole point of this game was I wanted to play a middle, I wanted to get control, and I was able to get to Final 6 without having my name written down. Even when it was written down, I was still safe. And I was able to make it to Final 4, and I was able to make it to the end. And I'm ready to get ripped to shreds. So everyone, let's have a fun time.
Yay, thank you, Stefan. So first is going to be Dom. He sent me messages to read to you. So pretend I'm Dom. Hey guys, sorry I couldn't make it. I'm at work. I wanted to give my questions positive because I feel like this is going to be a very heated tribal, and I know it is important to remember that we all played an amazing game hosted by amazing hosts. Congrats to the two of you for making it this far, and here are my questions for each of you. Ryan, as you said in your rites of passage, we didn't talk at all, like not even once, which is beyond it being hilarious. I do have a question for you. What would you consider the highlight of your game? I don't necessarily mean your best move. I want to know what made you happiest, most adrenaline pumping, elated moments in the game. My favorite part of Tumblr Survivor is the experience and friends you make. I hope you had fun playing.
I guess it's kind of a mixture of meeting, like, okay, because Jaden's currently one of my like really good friends, and so when I met him in this game, I heard not a lot of good, but personally, I connected with him so amazingly. It was really nice to get to know someone that's not really like me. We're not very similar people. He's more like, I don't know, he's just more out there than I am, I guess. And so it was just really nice meeting him. And then the family alliance that I had with Crow and Sarah was nothing I ever expected. Those are two people I never heard of them. Sorry to them, but I never heard of them. And it was just nice to get that little group really settle down, and then we worked together really well, and we made jokes and did this and that, and when we wanted to drag people, that's where we did it, in that little chat we had. And yeah, that's a positive thing.
Is that your answer? Cool.
Not making final two with your final two from Aeolian? Oh, okay.
Stefan, you made it past the 8th place club, and I'm so proud of you. I know you played hard to get to the end, and don't let these jurors get you down too much. Remember, this is a game for us and to have fun because we all love Survivor. My question for you is, what is the great move you consider to be the strongest? Which move did you stand by and say, hey, that move is what got me here?
I have to say the move that was the one that got me here was probably the Andrew vote. Because it was at that point that I realized Andrew was probably one of the more capable people, and he had 3 people following him in Pippa, Junior, and Trace. And I didn't like the power scales being tipped in that favor. And by doing that, and by setting that move up, and then pulling the Jenga blocks, following that, everything just kind of fell into place. And then everything just worked out perfectly. The people who left needed to go, and I got to the end with the people I needed to, and Brian. And I took it. It was the thing that helped me take out a power player and helped me get into a position that would keep me safe for rounds to come.
Hey, are you done?
Yeah.
Cool. And he'd like to say good job to both of you on making final 2. This is not an easy feat considering the size and skill of the cast. Good luck to both of you. Okay. Next is Johnny. So pretend I am Johnny. This is long. I'm just going to tell you now. Hello, finalists. Congratulations on 47 days of this game, because beating out 24 other people is definitely impressive. Fuck. Brian, I'm going to give you a layup. Please use it. Make sure Stefan is allowed to talk when I'm talking. Brian, I think you're legitimately one of the most likable people that I've spoken to. I could tell based on your past placements that you are one hell of a player, and making this your 2nd finals in a row is unreal. I think your social game was immaculate, and I think that everything you did was calculated to a T, and hearing how the jury discussed it. It sounded like you played one hell of a game, but last night you were breaking down to convince Stefan that you were his shadow. I would like to think this was just so Stefan could take you to the finals, but please give me a few instances as to things Stefan wasn't in on that you were in on.
So the question is that I have to name some things that Stefan wasn't in on that I was, right? That's what it was?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think the main thing that everyone's going to openly see is something I stated in my speech was the Pippa rocked vote. I mean, I didn't know Pippa was going to get rocked out, but that entire round I had to lie to Stefan's face despite not wanting to do that. It was just in my best interest to get through that round with Crow and Drew still there, because those are 2 people that were going to be loyal to me. And even though I did end up flipping on Drew the next round, I still had Crow there. I still had someone that I was 100% going to want to go to the end with, whatever it was. That was one big thing that he didn't know about. Earlier on, I mean, we didn't talk as much during the hero and villain stage, so when I was creating bonds with like Crow and Sarah, yeah, I might have told him, but I never told him the full goings on at Tribal Council. I would leave him out of a little bit of the information. When I was being targeted round 2, of course, I was like, Stefan, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. But as it progressed through the villains tribe, Stefan kind of just assumed I was gonna tell him I was gonna die, I think. So I kind of just worked with just the villains at that point. I was trying to focus on, this is the villains. So I didn't tell Stefan some of what was going on. I didn't tell him about Crow having the idol, because I knew Crow had the idol that Sarah gave him. I just kept it super, super quiet, because if I had told Stefan, that probably would have changed the final 6 round a little bit. I don't know if it would have, but I don't know if I kept much else quiet. Nothing that I can think of right now, but yeah.
Okay. Stefan, there is very little you can say tonight that will earn my vote, and I will get to that later, but I'm going to start on your rites of passage for me now. First off, please don't write that much next time. It seems like you're buttering up to the jury too much instead of being sincere. That's number 1. Number 2, you best believe that I don't trust you, and as much as you're telling everyone you didn't trust me. The reason you knew about the first Main Heroes Alliance is because I told you. The reason you got added to the Meminist chat was because I recommended you were there, and the reason you didn't get a throwaway vote round 1 was because of me, because everyone in the original chat wanted your name on a silver platter. If it wasn't for me pushing Ruthie's name so hard onto people, I'm almost convinced that you would have been the next scapegoat had we gone to tribal the second round. I worked to save you because we made a pact in the game, and when I found the clue to the idol, I came to you with it, and I told you that 100% we were going to use it together, regardless of whether I trusted you or not. I was sticking to my word. I get it, you backstabbed a fuck ton of people, and you were really good at making fake promises to people in this season, and the fact that you're about to lose for a second time to Brian is hilarious to me because it really shows a testament about the way you play your games. Granted, my placements are not to speak for, but this is besides the point. The round I went home, I needed the idol, and you didn't give a fuck whether or not you wanted to hold on to it because you wanted me out. I found the clue and entrusted you with it, and it was my mistake, so that was my bad. But the way you tried to hold on to the idol was selfish, and that's exactly how you played this game. You were selfish, and you didn't give a fuck what you did, and it reflects on your jury management. I bet you wanted me out of the game, but we were at 12 people left, and you knew that I was going to get taken out at one point or another. And I wasn't going to turn on you because I did the same thing in Jacob and Solomon. I thought you were going to be my Jacob, and let me tell you something, sir. You are far from anything Jacob will be to me, and hopefully this game is a testament to the fact that you are never, ever going to earn people's trust and loyalty because you do anything to win. And you should just be disappointed that you just definitely backstabbed at least 6 jurors in this game who have all spoke about not giving you a chance at winning. Congratulations. You played to get to the end, but you are no Russell Hantz. You're just a shittier version who needs a reality check on how to play Survivor. Good luck on your 5th chance at Tumblr Survivor. Apply a villain next time so we can at least expect less from you.
Can I just say something?
You can.
Okay. I'm not going to hide the fact that Johnny did so much for me in this game. Like, I'm not going to hide that. Like, when I was sick, Johnny was there for me. And the whole reason I held on to that idol, yes, was to make sure that if something bad happened, because I knew idols were going to be played that night. Like, I knew there was a good chance we were going to go to Rock. So I at least wanted that little bit of security. And I told Johnny that had I heard his name and if I knew he was getting votes, I would have given it to him. But he didn't get any votes. And it turns out that idol wasn't even good for being rocked out if Connor is gonna like back that up or not. I don't know.
Okay. So now we are getting to the live portion of it. Stephanie actually did ask that you didn't speak at all, but I let you do that anyway.
Oh, sorry.
I figured if it was live, you would put something in. So I have just sent the link to the first juror to come and join us live, and Pippa is on her way. So that's cool, or she should be.
Queen of Rocks.
Queen of Rocks.
Nikki Esposito and Brian in Pacific Islands is shook.
Look shook it. Pippa.
Pippa and the Polaroid.
Hello, and welcome to the newest episode of Pippa and the Boy. All right, so can I just start talking now? Because
Go for it.
here's what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna make this too long. It's gonna be a little long. I'm just gonna start this out by saying love you both, even though @Brian won't answer my Snapchats. Just saying.
Sorry.
But I'm about to rip you both apart in the best way I know how. But I'm gonna do it with love and hatred. I just wanted to check real quick. Thanks. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna and just don't talk until the end, and then you can respond however you want. Okay. First of all, I made a note for myself. It was remember you were rocked out, not voted out. Because I was like, damn, these guys did me dirty. And then I was like, oh, wait, rocks did me dirty. Okay, so I have all these notes. Okay. I start out by saying neither Brian nor Stefan did anything. So that's my first note. I'll start with Brian's notes, and then I'll go to Stefan's notes. Okay, so Brian, you did nothing, LMAO. Your moves were dumb. The only good thing you did was aid in Tommy being gone. I'm so mean. Sorry. I was watching like the opening. You created this whole sob story about how people continue to lie to your face and how it was so hard, but literally you directly lied to my face. Directly. Like not even skirting around it, directly. You, in my eyes, didn't really start playing the game until the Tommy vote, so try not to play yourself up so much. That's really mean, and I'm sorry. You can't flip and flop, like you said in your opening statement, when you have a life vest, when you have a floaty. Not voting Crow or Stefan was just a dumb move. Like, not even from a game perspective, not even taking into account one of us is going to final tribal council. If I was watching this from the VL or I was watching this on TV, I would have made a big old Tumblr post about how dumb that move was. And you can't say I'm bitter because I love rocks. When you said, I don't know if I kept much else quiet, it's because you literally barely knew anything. So now on to Stefan. Baylor Wilson will not help you in this FTC, darling. Okay? You also did nothing. I'll admit, okay, if you and Brian were truly a secret pair beware, it wasn't a very good secret because it seems like neither of y'all meant it to happen. It's like you both got here and you were like, oh, I guess we'll tell everybody that we were like working together. The Solomon Alliance wasn't real. That was not a real alliance. I mean, it was real, but there was a separate alliance. Yeah. Everyone wanted you gone, but you weren't really a threat, so I wanted to keep you. Nice try, Johnny. Nice try. Trying to seem like you're the hero. Nice try. I hope you're watching this. From your story, it seems like you weren't loyal. There was context to that. I don't know what it was. I didn't really, and you can answer this when I'm done. I'm sorry, like, when did you play an idol? I don't remember that happening. Was it fake? I don't remember. Oh, I put in all caps. Sorry, Drew. Exactly. Drew didn't do anything. I loved that you called me out for targeting Drew because from the first tribal, I wanted Drew gone. I wanted Drew gone this entire game. At one point you were like, I learned the tribe dynamics. Can you explain what those are? Because I feel like that was a fake sentence. The Kendall vote, and this goes for both of y'all, the Kendall vote wasn't that deep. Like, it wasn't some big old thing. Like, it was not that deep, y'all. At one point, Stefan, you said something, I forget what it was, but I just wrote, I hate you. But I wrote it with just the letter U. And you guys can listen to this too. I 100% did not trust Junior. Sorry, Junior. I didn't trust you at all. My alliance was with you, Stefan, because I know, and this is going to be really mean, I knew if you got here with anyone but Brian, okay, you'd lose. I knew I could have beat you. If I was here sitting with you, I would have beat you. Studying for a challenge doesn't make gameplay. When you answered that your biggest move was the Andrew vote, I wrote in all caps, the Andrew vote was so late in the game. Are you telling me that you did not start making big moves until F6? F7? And then one of you at one point said something about ends and means. And, you know, I'm a student, and I just remembered things. And I wrote, have y'all ever read Machiavelli's The Prince? He questions if the ends justify the means. In both of yours case, the end did not justify the means because you had no means, and this is an odd end. Machiavelli also says it is better to be feared than loved. Y'all are neither feared nor loved, so I don't know what kind of leader is running this show, but it's not the kind that Michael Scott would have wanted. So now I'd like your responses, and maybe I'll throw some more stuff back.
Okay. Pippa, I just want to make sure I cover everything. So you were talking about the idol I played, whether if I didn't start playing until Final 7 or 8, and then whether the Brian thing was intentional, right?
Yeah, and I also wanted to know if you could explain what tribe dynamics.
Oh, right. Okay. So I'll start with the Brian thing. Literally day one, when we got off the plane together, we were like, okay, this is happening. Like, we weren't necessarily as close as we were in Aeolian, but we always knew that we wouldn't vote each other out if it would mean one of us going. Like, we were prepared for that. Next, for the tribe dynamics, it wasn't necessarily clear cut, but it kind of like told me where like strong people were, because I was added to an alliance with Sarah, Drew, Brian, and Tommy. And I knew that Tommy was going to be close to Sarah. I knew Kendall was going to be close to Sarah. And I knew from talking with Brian that Crow was close to Sarah. And then on the other side, there was Johnny, who I knew Andrew and you, and a lot of people were closer to. And I knew, like, that was like my first instance of like knowing, okay, I kind of need these people to go after each other. So again, I can kind of just like slip under the background, kind of like a snake, just slithering on through the game. And then inside that, it was also at that point where Johnny started turning on Drew, where a couple people started turning on Drew. So I was like starting to get like a little bit, okay, where can I go from after the Johnny and Sarah thing?
Okay.
Then the idols I play. If you remember the hero idol that Crow got given from Andrew.
Okay, wait. I want to say something about that too. I want to say something really, really quick. So everybody's like, Andrew gave Crow the idol.
Yeah, wasn't that your idea?
Okay, it was both of ours idea, and I'm just mad because sometimes I don't get credit for it, and we both called each other, and I was like, I have an evil plan, and he was like, I have an evil plan. Let's say it on 3, and then on 3 we went, let's both give Crow the idol. And it was so cool. But anyway.
Oh no, that was like a great move, but like, I knew that if an idol was going to be played, it was going to be played on Crow, and I knew Crow was going to vote someone. And I didn't like not having power, so that's when I had my Fukushu idol, which is pretty much a vote steal after the votes have been cast. So once you played that idol, I had it in my pocket because I knew it was going to be like some form of safety. And that was actually part of where like I became more aggressive towards starting the game. And I played it to make sure that Drew got to merge, because I knew people, including yourself, would want Drew gone because he's Drew. He can do that sort of thing. He's pretty impressive. So I knew Drew would have been a meat shield for me, and I'd rather have been protected rather than just leave myself into merge being like down an ally, down some form of protection. And like I knew like I had to think steps ahead. Otherwise, my form of playing the game from the start was making connections I needed to. Like even talking to you openly when I heard my name come up and you told me, I don't want you gone now, I want Drew gone, but I don't necessarily see us working together that long. So I was like, okay, Pippa's not necessarily gonna want to take me to the end. So let's keep Drew around because I know she'll go after him before me.
After a while, it just became like a game.
Yeah.
Like, can I get Drew this time? Can I get him this time?
Can we
okay,
do
Brian, I want to hear your response now. And then I got one more question for Stefan. And then if I have one more question for Brian, that'll be chill. But go, Brian.
Okay. I'm not as good as Stefan is remembering lists, but I do remember one of your major points being that the move at Final Six where you got rocked out, and how keeping Drew and Crow or Stefan was like a good move for me. For a while, I had talked to you prior, and that this one thing wasn't a lie, that I did want that Nikki Charlotte type alliance to be a thing, but I just knew it wasn't in my best interest to go into Final Four, let's say, because the plan was Crow round 1, then Drew during the instant. And although I was like, okay, Drew, yeah, definitely needs to go when he can't win immunity, Crow not being in Final Four with me, even if he was playing a good game, it was like a security blanket for me, because going into Final Four, I didn't know who I could trust of the three of you, Trace, and Stefan. I thought maybe Stefan would maybe flip to that side because it was just the easy vote, and he was scared that he was a bigger target than me. So I was like, okay, so my best bet if I go into Final Four with one of Drew or Crow, that was just in my best interest. It wasn't necessarily to get you out, because I think Final Four with you would have been better than Trace, because I think Trace to me was a scarier immunity threat, but I also I couldn't control rocks. What else had you addressed? I'm sorry. Was there any other major things you wanted to? Major things.
Let me just check my notes.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it was basically me just coming after you. Okay, I have one more question though, and it's for both of you, and it's just like a quick answer. Okay, and Sarah, I love you, and this is no offense to you, so don't take it that way. You both of you cite Sarah as your biggest ally at some point in time. Or maybe Stefan didn't, but Brian, you did. Okay. Sarah went out pretty early. So what you do after that when she left? Because she went out pretty early. And then that's it. No, Connor, don't. I just want to hear this answer, and then I'm done. I'll leave. I promise. Just real quick. Just a 5-second answer, Brian. Just after Sarah left. Basically, just give me like a quick answer.
Go.
What did you do?
Okay, I stood with Drew, Crow, and Stefan pretty much after that point, with kind of trying to work with everyone else, but it was mainly those three.
All right, cool. I'm going to leave now. Thanks for answering my questions and letting me drag you. I'd love to do it again. Bye.
Drag me, queen. That was a fun drag.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
I liked that. That was enjoyable.
It's also Pippa, and Pippa's, like she said, she's mean but nice.
She's smiling when she holds it, and I was like, "Aw, you're cute."
Exactly.
Your next person is on the way.
Junior.
He's here. Hi, Junior. You can do whatever you want. This time is yours, but do remember that there are 8 people after you. Thank you.
Floaters have a life vest. Except for you, Stefan, because you're already drowning. No, but okay, that was good. Okay, Teddy told me to say that. Anyways, long quote that I just want to say, friendship is complicated. To love is to be able to hate and love again. But with that being said, Stefan, I really don't need you to speak during this because I really don't have much to say to you. But let me look at my notes because I was prepared, but now I'm kind of not prepared. Oh yeah, I was gonna make a couple shout outs. So shout out to Richie because I love that kid. Brian, that whole villains tribe, the dynamic was really weird and everything, just because I knew where I stood on that tribe and everything. And I shouted out Richie because I tried so hard to save him. And I don't know if you know this, but I went to Richie about the only way he could stay, I think, was it voting for you? Did your name come up during that vote? Because I'm pretty sure I said your name, but as soon as your name came up, I was scared that people were going to find out I was the one that said your name. So I fucking backtracked so hard, hoping that nobody caught on that it came from me. But anyways, I don't know if it did. And I was a Richie vote too. I don't know how many people told you, but I was a Richie vote and I was a Sarah vote. Anyways, so in your thing, I mean, you pretty much told me that I was pretty much lying the whole game, which I was. No lie, I was lying the whole game, but that's how I played because just from everybody talking to me, I guess nobody trusted me, and I guess everybody thought I was a snake, and I guess everybody like was scared of me coming into this. So I'm really happy with how I did, because a lot of people told me that they're surprised I was in the first boot just with how I play the games and how I come into this game blazing hot. But yeah, the only question, I don't know if it's the only question, but I was gonna ask you what you thought like your biggest lie was, and then also ask you what you thought my biggest lie was, like to you or just in general.
I thought my personal biggest lie, I guess, was the final 6 round, because I literally had to lie to everyone that round. So I think that was just the worst. And I hadn't even decided my like final intentions at a certain point. I was kind of still like, maybe I could go to the 4 and vote Crow out, but I just realized there was no chance of me feeling like safe in a final 4 with Pippa, Trace, and Stefan, where I had no one. Like I wasn't really super close to Pippa and Trace, so it was like, oh, it's me and Stefan versus 2 of them, or Stefan with the 2 of them, and it just made no sense to go to final 4 that way. That was my biggest lie though, because I literally was the center of communication, I felt, in that during that round, and had to lie to everyone. Your biggest lie, I don't know if it was necessarily that. I can't think of one specifically right now, but I felt like a lot of the time people would be like, oh, Junior said this, and they would pin a lot of things on you. Like, I think there was one round where, I think it might have been the Richie round, where I think Sarah maybe have told me that you were throwing my name around. It was maybe earlier in the game too, though. Sarah had said something about you threw my name out there, and I was like, oh, so I can't trust Junior, is what you're telling me? And so it kind of put you at like arm's distance, and I was like, I cannot keep Junior close to me just because I'm scared.
Oh, yeah, you're good with that. I mean, the whole villain tribe for me, like I knew I was on the bottom from that tribe, so my number one goal was to get all of you guys out. I was close. You and Crow did amazing, honestly. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think you played a great game. You really, you did a lot that I wish I did, but I mean, I can't really float like under the radar as well. And then one more thing, Connor, I'm pretty much done, but I just gonna say, because I felt like Stefan was really trying to, I don't know, because when I told you, Stefan, that you were gonna make Final 3 no matter what, when I thought it, like back when we all thought it was the Final 3, god damn it, host, which is good, because I didn't Crow, I would have voted for Crow, but anyways, I think I told you, Stefan, that you were gonna make Final 3 no matter what. And that's because everybody thought they could beat you, because everybody thought taking you to the end was going to be an easy win just because of how you were playing. I'm not sure, because I haven't been in the jury chat since the day I got voted out. So I don't know how the jury chat is doing right now. But I don't know. Everybody thinks you played. I don't know. I mean, I get that feeling too, but I played the same way, so I can't really fault you at that. But the thing is that I'm going to stick with the villains, because I feel like the villains deserve something from this Heroes versus Villains just series. I feel like the villains deserve something. So Brian, I'm really happy you made it. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I have nothing else to say. So go villains.
Thank you, Junior.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
That was too bad.
Like I said, a nice guy.
Right?
Just didn't trust him in the game.
He was a good soul.
Yeah. There's a lot of bro-y people this season, I realized. Like, straight bro-y people, you know?
You mean Johnny and Junior?
Okay, those are the only 2 I could think of too, but...
Good job, Brian.
Bro, I don't know.
Look at all 2 of them. That puts us in minority.
Fuck. The umbrella gaze.
The umbrella gaze. Wait, was that done after Trace Or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it was just you, me, and Crow at that point.
Okay.
And now it's what it's actually called, but yeah.
Yeah. The Brian and Stefan makeout sesh.
Yes. Also, Zach, shout out to you because you just said Stefan dad. So me.
Hi, Zach. Oh, wait, I want to give a shout out to Jen From. Thanks for being a supportive babe.
I don't know Jen, otherwise I would shout her out too.
Jen From is great.
Okay, Andrew is next. He is on his way. Apparently.
Can you vote me out while I'm sleeping again?
Midway was like forever ago.
I know. That's why we talked it over and we're good. Well,
And then you
yeah.
voted him out.
Yeah, but he voted for me, so it's an equal trade, I guess, you know? Sorry. Also, shout out to Lexi, an icon and a legend.
God, I love Lexi.
Same. She's always been so nice to me,
Same.
which is not something I can say about a lot of people in the community. So, shout out to Lexi.
Okay, Andrew's here. That's what he just said. He's on the way.
Oh, there he is.
I see.
Babe.
Okay, hello, am I here? That was such a mess.
That was
My
wild.
mom's laptop just betrayed me, and my laptop is breaking, so that was a fun ride. Anyway, now I have my notes on my mom's laptop. So I have two laptops here. This is really terrible. Okay, so hello, Final Two. So first thing I just want to say is I'm glad Pippa got to shout out her credit because that was completely 50-50 on the idol decision. And I want Pippa to get her credit because I love her so much and she's like my best friend. So yeah. Anyway, on to what I have to say. So I was initially just thinking about in protest, just filibustering this entire final tribal by reading all 44 chapters of My Immortal because honestly, not happy with this final two. Just saying that now, like I'm friends with both of you, but like this is disappointing in terms of how this season went. So I was gonna make notes on your openings, but I can't really remember half of like what you said. So all I'm gonna say, Too Long Didn't Read, is just I think you two gave yourselves way more credit than you two deserved. At the end of the day, when I look at this season, you two were definitely background characters to the narrative that was going on. Majority of the power players in the jury, I think we can all agree. So this is a bit lackluster. Also, just wanted to shout out something Drew said in the jury chat like 20 minutes ago where we were talking about how you two were targeted. I don't remember the full context, but he said people actually wanted Brian out. No one targeted Stefan because no one cared. And I think that's the biggest mood of this final tribal council, no matter what anyone says. That's how this merge went. Anyway, on to what I actually had to say. I first just want to congratulate the both of you anyway, because I mean, if you get through 24 people, you get to final two. You both obviously did something right. But with that being said, I think that while you did something right and while the actions you chose were the correct ones, it's how you go about them that are more important. And I think the both of you went about a lot of your moves in not the best ways. So I first just want to get into both of you as a whole, because honestly, you both, once you made merge, y'all played the same game. So I'm going to address the both of you in this, seeing as you guys worked together so closely. I said this was a lackluster final too. I have like various notes and it might be a little messy, but basically in the jury chat, there was a lot of discussion on how deserving you two really were. And like I said, I don't think either of you are deserving. But it was argued that you guys managed to play the middle together and worked with what you had because you two were labeled as goats. So you guys did what you knew. You worked with what you knew. And from the way I saw it is you guys ended up basically wanting to go goat versus goat because, you know, that's the best strategy, right? You go against the person you can beat. And I shot that down immediately because at the end of the day, you make yourself the goat. You do things to make yourself labeled as a goat. No one can call you a goat and then that's just what it is. Like, it's the things that you guys do from the beginning of the game that will make you someone who is easily beatable at the end and someone who's unlikable. And while I didn't really know Brian's game at the beginning, since I wasn't on the villain speech and they went to so many tribals, I still heard from majority of the villains I talked to that you were kind of dead. You didn't have a lot of influence on what happened. So I'm going to take the words of the villain I talked to when I asked, oh, how was so-and-so? How was playing with so-and-so? Brian, I heard the least about you. And that's just the truth. So I'm not really going to give you a ton of credit there. And Stefan basically had, from what I saw, you know, he could have had connections, but I really saw him have no influence pre-merge game. I'll give him a little bit of a free pass on the Heroes tribe, seeing as we went to 2 tribals and they were both unanimous. I'll give you the smallest of a free pass there. But at the swap, I didn't really see what you did. I don't think, obviously, I tried to kill Drew 4 times in this game. I hired a damn bird as an assassin to kill him. So obviously I thought Drew was the best option to vote out, but I actually thought Ashton was the lesser of the 3 options. I thought taking out Dom would have been smarter than Ashton. So Stefan, I don't really see any game from you pre-merge. So then that makes you guys the goats at the beginning, and you go into the merge as people who weren't playing, then you want to work your way out of that goat connotation. And I didn't see either of you do that. You both stuck with each other. You both just ultimately, in a game where everyone in the merge was playing so aggressively, you two just didn't fit the bill of how I saw most of the other people playing. You guys were playing with not the same energy, and I didn't see that from the 2 of you. You guys stuck together as friends, when in reality, I think that if once we were getting into single digits, it even could have been after I was voted out, if either of you took the other out before final tribal council, say Stefan take out Brian, Stefan would be getting more respect right now. Brian takes out Stefan, I think he would have been getting more respect right now. The fact that you two each other is just, people aren't seeing that as a big move. People are just seeing that as 2 friends took each other to the end because, hey, they were both labeled as goats. Hey, they're both friends. That's the easy way out. And let me see. These notes are very messy. Please bear with me. I apologize, Connor. Yeah, so that's basically what I had to say on YouTube. Brian, I don't have much else to say about you because that's really how I saw your game. I didn't talk to you a lot. So Stefan, the rest of this is for you. Honestly, I'm gonna be entirely honest, you need to pull a Hail Mary to get my vote at this tribal council tonight. I'm just letting you know that now. I'm not gonna give you false hope. There's like a 3% chance, dude. So basically what I have are 2 words to describe how you played this game. The first one is brat. After you yelled at me on call the night of the Dom vote out, I had to basically hold back slapping you through my screen, backhanding you, because I told you, you have the right to be mad. I pulled a fast one on you. You had the right to be mad. But you did something that pisses me off to no end in games, and that is making something that wasn't about you about yourself. You made the whole thing about yourself. You made it how, you know, you threw out Tommy's name and you threw out these names and people were going to think you were shady now. And like, the whole thing was that half the tribe was targeting Tommy anyway. It wasn't just you. This wasn't just about you. And you weren't yelling at me, I felt, for the right reason. You were yelling at me because you were like, oh, this soiled my game. Oh no, which obviously I don't think it really soiled your game that much. Tommy went the next round. So once you put it on how it was bad for you, I couldn't really take your anger seriously anymore. And I don't know, it just came off as whiny to me. You were coming off as whiny to me in this game. Working with you was a bit of a pain in the ass. And in terms of yelling at people, I even saw in the jury chat, Crow said something about an altercation you had with Brian. You yelled at him or something really bad after a vote. Crow had to console Brian. So I don't see that as respectable at all. I think you're above that. I think you're above yelling at people. So that happened. What else do I have? I don't know. It was just the whole. There were other times also where I was promising you FTC, which I was legitimately promising you FTC. You were someone like, full disclosure, like, this is the end of the season. I don't have to lie anymore. I would have taken you to the end. And you would constantly come to me. You would ask me if I was voting you out, like, blatantly. You would just be like, you're not voting me out, right? And you do it in this voice. So it's just like pitiful, and like a 6-year-old, like, trying to make sure their parents, like, weren't, I don't know. It was just like talking to like a 6-year-old. Like, I just saw that as a lack of maturity in the game. The fact that your last words to me when I was at a very high anxiety level, when I was like, I think I'm getting voted out, your last words to me were just calm down, which I don't think are great last words to someone who's freaking out, especially when you know the thing that I was worried about was going to come to fruition. I think that's a little shitty. But that brings me on to second word I would use to describe you, which not gonna say what the initial word was on the off chance I don't want to offend people, but it begins with a P and it's synonymous with coward and it rhymes with bussy. So that's how I saw you in this game. That's how I see you actually in a lot of games, but I don't like bringing in old games. I'm looking at this game. And honestly, I just saw you as a coward in this game. Like I said, this was a game where everyone was aggressively coming at each other, mutually stabbing each other in the front, and you would just go around, sneakily sliding around, stabbing people in the back, and you would never really own up to any of it. And I'm even seeing now in this final tribal, you're not really owning up to like really hard-hitting moves. You're kind of just like, I had to do this to do this. I had to, you know, I didn't want to cut this person, but, you know, and like, I don't see an energy in you. Like, I don't see any energy that these people had in you. And the biggest thing for me that pissed me off the most was you ranted to me one time about how, you know, you've lost all of these FTCs in the past, and you wish that the jury would see things from your perspective and would respect your game. And I feel like this is the worst offender of your gameplay, because it's just the fact that you're self-aware of how jury after jury doesn't respect your gameplay, and yet you play the same way every single time. I've never seen you deviate from your gameplay, and I've known you a long time, and I can't award someone who isn't gonna go out of their way to change things up. If things aren't working, then you change things up. And I would even argue that getting lower placement in a game where you try to do different is more respectable, because you can say, hey, that you tried. So you're going to keep getting high placements. You're going to keep going to FTC. You're going to keep losing. And that's the way I see it. And the most shocking part is that you just won't change your gameplay. And I think that's a testament ultimately to your gameplay and how you will never deviate from your reputation as a snake. So I do have a question after that long. I don't even want to know how long that was, because I went on for too long. But my question is just, why should I vote for either of you when it seemed you stuck to your guns, stuck to taking a closest friend to the end, and took the easy way out when making it to this FTC? So I guess more specifically, convince me otherwise on my notions that neither of you took a risk.
Am I on? Okay. I just kind of want to first address like the whole being a brat thing. I will own up to that. Like in the height of emotions and everything, I have a really bad, you know, you've seen this. I have a really bad way of like holding things back. Like it was the same thing that happened with Brian at Final 6 when he lied to me. I was just kind of like, the hell? Like it takes like a moment for me to like process everything and then realize, okay, maybe shouldn't have done that. But I did take risks in this game. I'm going to try to phrase this as best I can. I'm not usually a person, because in past games, usually I've thought, okay, if I betray this person once, I can't work with them again. They're not going to like look at me the same way. They're just not going to trust me. They're not going to want to move forward with me whatsoever. I thought that in All-Stars, but then seeing people play back and forth, like I saw Kate and MJ like work against each other one round, but then work together the next. And I'm like, wait, why is that happening? And it was like, all you have to do is talk to people. And so that's why I did with a lot of this game. People saw me flip back and forth, back and forth. They saw me vote out Kendall, but then they saw me vote out Drew and you and June, and Crow, and I just kept going back and forth. But I changed things up from how I did. I was taking risks of like constantly going to people, telling people information about the game. Part of the reason I believe that I believe it was one of the early merge votes. I'm not sure which one. I don't think it was the Kendall. I think people were wondering how information was going out. That was because I kept going to people. I kept putting trust in people. I kept risking my own game to at least come off or at least seem as loyal right before I backstabbed them. And I was trying to emulate what I saw and what I thought was impressive. Because I saw Jack do it, I saw Kate, I saw MJ, and I wanted to at least try and give that a shot because that felt different to me. That felt like I wasn't just trying to be stubborn and like stick to one thing. And I feel like that's what ended up paying off later on down the road with like being able to survive Final Four, being able to survive the later votes. I think that's it.
Okay, so you had said that very similar to what Stefan addressed, that it didn't take risks in the game. And I don't necessarily disagree with you. I mean, I actually kind of agree with you almost fully. I do think I kind of kept it to what I knew. If I play the UTR, the under the radar, whatever you want to call this gameplay, I play that almost all the time because it's what I know. And I know, like Stefan said, he was trying to change up, take risks and all this. For who I am as a person, for how I play the game all the time, it's just, I'm not a big player type kind of guy. Like, I like to use what I know to get further into the game. And clearly this time it backfired a little bit because it was just too safe. But I do feel like something that I never openly do in games is I don't normally like to vote in the minority. So when I knew Sarah was going and when I knew this person was going, what I would have done normally is, oh yeah, I'll just vote them out. It's fine. But like that was for me, it was a risk because if I voted the minority, it was like, oh, who was this vote? Like when I voted for you that one round, I knew you were going to probably ask people who it was, and I knew that I would want to come clean about it. But that's not something I normally like doing in games. I normally like sitting there and lying, and I did lie a lot, but for the most part, when I made a vote, I made a vote. Like I did that, not like I did that, but I guess that was kind of the risky gameplay. I don't really have like super crazy big mega moves, but that was my game risk. Kind of just being like, I voted this person even though it wasn't what was the majority doing.
Okay, I'm good. But Isaac wanted to shout out Isaac. Good luck, Counselor.
Hi, sluts. How you been? I have nothing prepared because I really don't care about this final two. So I'm just gonna make a few final comments. You guys know where my vote's going. I feel incredibly blessed to have played with the other 23 people. You two were decent. I have gained so much from this game. My ego has been inflated so much, so I appreciate that. No hard feelings, even though I really don't care for one of you. I guess goats win this game after all. That's all I have to say. Told you it would be brief, Connor. Thanks.
Hey, Brian, did you hear like a scratchy thing?
Yeah, I took my earbuds out.
I was wondering.
I thought my earbuds were dying because they're kind of broken a little bit, but
Same.
I don't know.
Connor, stop. Hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna send him a message. Okay. I feel like this is a very fair thing to say.
What happened? I took my earbuds out.
No, I don't think anything changed. You just said, Connor, your shit is exploding.
Oh, yeah.
And then I just said, your microphone is shit. We can't hear anything.
Oh, me. Yeah.
Because, like, I couldn't hear him say anything. And I couldn't hear when Crow got on. I'm like, what happened?
That I did hear, I just didn't hear the exploding parts.
How you doing?
Just great. How are you?
Being
You know
a
what?
goat. I like roasted goat.
Oh, it's my favorite flavor.
What were you gonna say?
It's my favorite flavor. That's it. There's nothing else.
Kendall!
No, Kendall. Kendall's evil clone.
Okay, Kokichi.
No, Kendall. Gosh, do you know how evil clones work?
No.
Yeah, okay. I'm not surprised. All right, I'm gonna be entirely honest. Like the rest of this game, I have no idea what's going on. When I tried to watch the YouTube video, it kept like fucking up, so I only got like the second half. So if I repeat a question, yeah, sorry. So, from what I could tell, I'm supposed to be mad at you guys because you're goats. But, you know, as a fellow goat, I can't really bring myself to hate either of you, I guess. Stefan, I would have voted for you, but I don't usually do pity votes. It just seems unlikely you would win. Unless you, like, summon Satan in the next 20 minutes. Brian, I have yet to have a full conversation with you. We interchanged 2 lines, and I know I was pretty dead throughout the game, but communication is a two-way street. So for my question for both of you is, how's your day going?
I guess I'll go first. I had school at 5:30 in the morning, so not
What
so
kind of
great.
fucked up school opens at 5:30 in the morning?
On Columbus Day, or whatever you want to call it today, Indigenous People Day.
Talk like a pirate day.
Yeah. Isn't it Leif Erikson Day? I think so. But yeah, that's my day.
I'm gonna slap you, Brian, because I've seen too many of Leif Erikson SpongeBob shit. I'm done with that. My day's been good. I mean, I had like shit I should have turned in a lot earlier, but I mean, seeing you come on was kind of refreshing, so that was nice. Also, I just want to say one thing. We talked about this at the beginning of the season. Before that, had one of us made it to the end, all we had to do is just mention one phrase, no matter what, that person would get a vote from that person.
Oh,
and I'm
fuck.
pretty sure you know what it is. Because we talked. Do it for Monica.
God damn it, I'm contractually obligated now. Fuck.
Right? We shouldn't have made those plans like 6 months before the season started.
No, I shouldn't have. God damn it. Well, okay. Good luck to both of you, especially Stefan. They're going to make you cry. And
Okay.
I'll see y'all later.
Bye. I'm ready to cry.
I love crying. It's a fun side activity I do.
Oh, shout out to Willow. Thanks for wishing me congratulations on making Final 2 a day late.
Shout out to Seamus, because if I don't give him one, he's going to kill me.
I don't want to give one to him.
And I didn't want to either. Now he's going to attack me.
I'm so mean to him.
Now he's going to attack me in TMs, though, so it's okay.
Good. I wonder who's next. Wait, who do we still have? We've done Johnny, we've done Dom, Kendall, Crow, Andrew, Jr., Hippa. So that means we have 4 more. So Sarah, Drew.
Trace.
Sarah, Drew, Trace.
I'm going through the jurors. Give me a second. Oh, this looks bad on us.
We are really horrible people. I mean, they already knew that. Zach just sent me a message. I hope you beat Brian. Oh, and Tommy.
Tommy. The first unanimous vote since, like...
Ever.
Yeah. And that round was still a mess, so...
It was, like... God, I did so much to just, like, bring incriminating evidence and just showed it to people on a play. I was like, here's what Tommy's saying. Let's just continue on this.
I'm gonna write the list down, not in any order, just so you know who to expect. Oh.
We got Tommy.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Is this working?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, I'm back. So congratulations, you two, on making the final 2. I don't really have a speech prepared, so I'm just gonna roll with it. I'll start with I'll start with Stefan first. Stefan, I'm not mad at anything you did in this game. In fact, I kind of like the way that you played, not how you sent people to the jury because you had very bad jury management, but I suffer from that too, so I can relate. So I don't really have like anything to grill you for per se. So yeah. And for Brian, I feel like our relationship in the game was kind of almost non-existent. Like in the beginning of the game, I tried to message you like every day and you barely replied. So which is why when that first vote came around, I voted for you. And it wasn't so much that I wanted you out. It was more that you were the one that was talking to me least, which is why I did that. Nothing against you, but you just seemed like the most inactive from my point of view. And following from there, I told you the truth that I did vote you out. And I don't know what you talked about in Rites of Passage when you said I lied on day 4. Because we didn't even go to Tribal on day 4. Like, the first hero Tribal was on day 5, and we went to Tribal after them. And even at Tribal, I didn't lie to you and say I was voting with you. And you can go check that in our chat, but I never said that voting with you. So, and then after that vote, I tried to connection with you, and I tried over and over and over, but things just didn't work out because you wouldn't really respond. And then when you did respond, it was like a 5-minute. And then I would hear from like Sarah and Brian, or Sarah and Crow, that you guys would talk like all the time. So then that made me think that you just didn't want to talk with me. I do, and I like Stefan as a person too, but in this game, like social contact is very important, and I feel like you really neglected that with me. It's like another point that I wanted to bring out was that we just didn't have like that relationship game-wise. And then even moving forward, like my vote out, like I did not throw a name, not do that. That was Trace. So, and basically, I think that was a good move for both to get me out that round, though, either way. So I'm not going to hold against you, but I was not the one that threw out your name. It was Trace. So just to correct you there. So yeah. So as for questions, I'm trying to think of a question to ask because I did not prepare for this. Okay. Stefan, you grilled me at Final Tribal Council, and you said that I was the least likely person for. So why tonight should I give you my vote?
Okay. I feel back in Myanmar, we definitely didn't talk as much, and I honestly felt like the least connected to you out of the final 3. And when I heard you were a thing, you were helped contribute to me getting voted out, I was really on edge of emotion, and like I've owned up to this with you before, like since the season started, it's like, yes, I was probably like a little bit petty for when I was voting for a winner. And I probably treated you a lot worse than I should have. But I believe you should vote for me to win over Brian is because I took risks. I flipped back and forth. I didn't let the game just come to me. I took advantage of the hecticness, the aggressiveness of how everyone played. And despite being a brat and a bussy, but replaced the B with P, as people say, I played the selfish. I played it for my own. I made sure that I was going to be safe later on down the road. And I took advantage of what I could, and that's why I'm here, and I hope you respect that. Also, I'm going to own up to my very bad jury management, because you and I both know I don't do well with it. I think that's it.
Okay, that was good. That was good. So now Brian. At the final 9 vote, which was my vote out, you said that I was the one that was throwing out your name. Said to you before that it was Trace who actually threw out your name. And it seems that you did not know that until like this very moment. So to me, that kind of shows that you had a lack of game knowledge to getting to this point, which I'm not saying is like awful, but when you're looking for a winner, it's better to know what's happening almost the entire time during the game. But I'm not gonna like grill you on that. The question for you tonight is, how did past relationships affect your game?
Well, coming into this game, most of the people I knew were on the Heroes tribe. So going on to the Villains tribe, I knew you from one of my first org friends, and then I also knew Linus from getting to Final 3 with him in a different game. But other than that, I didn't know anyone on the Villains. So Heroes-wise, though, I had been told that I was being targeted early on because of those relationships, because of my relationship with Stefan and people knowing about my friendship with Drew. And I've met up with Drew in person. There's no denying that that's like a thing that happened. So I do think early on that got me a target on the Villains tribe. And there was apparently an alliance made very early on to get me out of the game. But later on, because those people were still in the game, and because I still was able to like the Stefan's still here, and then Drew was there, and Linus went pre-merge, but I kind of tried to use what I had from that plus what I was gaining now, and balance it all out to try to get to here. And so I think that early on, basically, it was bad. But later on, as the game went on, it helped me get to where I am. Yeah.
Okay, and by the way, just so you know, that first alliance on the Villains tribe wasn't solely for the purpose to get you out. It was just a group of people, and then we just decided you were the target. So it just wasn't solely to get you out, but you just were the target. So, just to clarify that. Anyways, say one last statement, and that is to the both of you. Stefan, I was rooting for you pretty hardcore once Drew got voted out, so it out tonight. But if Brian wins, that's still cool with me too. So good luck to the both of you.
Love you, Tommy.
Thank you.
Okay, I was shocked. Connor, stop. Okay. Shout out to Tommy. Okay, so now we're down to Drew, Sarah, and
Trace.
Trace. Keep forgetting about the important people.
Me. I'm still a little emoji.
Are you okay? I mean, we'll figure out once Trace gets on call.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure you and I both made this face. So it was kind of like, what?
Well, I mean, I was just a little shocked because technically I did hear it from Trace.
Yeah, but you heard that it was Tommy that was telling Trace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we will find out.
We will find the fuck out next time
episode.
on Pippa and the Boys. You know, I think I'm feeling. Oh, wait, Dustin. Why is Dustin on?
Connor told me to get on because his mic isn't working. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
I don't fucking know.
Hi, Dustin.
Hi.
Hello.
I don't know what I'm doing here. Connor texts me. Connor just texted me saying Drew is not coming and Sarah is on the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else, Connor, you need me to say? And that he's so sorry. Okay. Oh,
there she is.
Okay. Good luck, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, I can't hear any of you. But I will just mute my damn self and watch live after I answer my questions. So, yeah, this will work out. Please don't have a Bangladesh point two. Like, please don't yell at me. But I will be saying some really mean things. But, like, please, please don't make me cry. So, congrats on making final two. You guys have gotten beaten down so fucking hard, and I will try so hard to be nice, but it's gonna be super, super hard. So this has all been said before, but both of your games have just been plain boring. Like, they've been boring to watch. They've just been boring to me. So I'm gonna say something about Stefan, then I'm gonna say something about Brian, and then I'm just gonna have one question for Stefan, and that's the end. Stefan, your opening speech was just like awful. I'm so sorry. The jury was like yelling with every word you were saying while we were watching the opening speech. So you were not loyal. You said you were loyal, but the jury are smart people. And I'm pretty sure that I can speak on behalf of them and say that we're not fooled by you. Like, we're not fooled that you were loyal. You were not interesting to watch play, and your strategic game, if we can even call it that, was solely based on luck with your idle plays and the advantages that you got. And to be quite honest with you, you talked about how your social game was great, but like, when I go back into you and I's conversation, our conversation is like literally nothing except for me begging you to not vote me out in final 11. So conversations do take two people, so I will like admit that like I tried to initiate conversations, but I don't see any conversation where we tried to initiate. So yeah, but anyway, I'll get to your question in a second. So Brian, you are literally my son. I loved our alliance, but to be honest, I loved Crow more because we were both the strategic ones in our alliance. And don't get me wrong, you're an amazing person. You're the social one in that alliance, and I loved you. And it was amazing to get to know you and to use your votes and to use your loyalty in this game. And I'm so proud that you made it to final two. For you, because honestly, I'm going to be voting for you tonight. Everyone knows it. But my question is to Stefan. So I respect loyalty, and I respect an interesting game and a strategic game. Brian at least showed me loyalty. So Stefan, can you please tell me what the fuck is there to respect about your game?
Wait, did you ask me a question? Because my internet just like literally cut out.
What is there to respect about your game?
Oh, okay. I should clarify. Yeah, not really loyal to really anyone in this game. I kind of wanted to give off the idea that I was loyal and people could depend on me. When that really was not the case throughout any of this game. As Johnny will tell you, I was selfish. I kept that idol to myself, and I honestly was just thinking about what was going to get me farther on this game. I'm not going to hide behind the fact that I was like, oh no, I totally embodied what it meant to be a hero, because that's utter bullshit. No, I like was a villain disguised as a hero. I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't, but I played what I believed would get me far. And as for the advantages that I will admit, like getting those advantages mainly in this game depended on luck, but with this idol system, we couldn't really like know like what we were getting. Drew found 2 idols, and like the amount of like randomness that existed, had there been more rewards, maybe we could have sussed out the advantages a bit more, but you got to play with what you're dealt in Survivor. I played with what I was dealt. I found a Fukushu idol. I used that the best way I saw fit. Got the Shokan idol from Johnny. Held on to that because I wanted security and it kept me a little more sane. And as for the Gorundo idol, I picked that up because no one was going to be bidding at the auction for the early items. And then I played that to get out Drew, but also get myself to Final 4. So I will admit there was luck to this. I will admit I was not loyal and I was selfish, but I did that to get me farther in the game. Also, you were not mean whatsoever in this, I swear.
Well, thank you, and bitches, I'm out.
What did she say about you? I kind of cut out.
Oh, just that like her and Crow were like the strategic ones of the group, which yeah. And that although she liked talking to me and stuff, like, I mean, my game was boring too, which I think we've kind of.
You were beautiful to me.
This Final 2 is my happy place, even if it's no one else's happy place.
No one wanted this Final 2.
Hello. Okay.
Trace!
Save it.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a few things to say. First of all, thank you for not including me in the bros, because Drew was like, oh, I can't believe Stefan and Brian didn't say Trace was a bro. And I was like, wow, thank God. Okay, that's my first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is I feel like you guys have more questions for me than I have for you. But that, and like, maybe that was my fault for like the way I played the game. But I don't know. I have like questions, but this is going to be more like a very brief conversation where I'm just going to talk and then I will have slight questions in it. And hopefully it shouldn't take long because I know it's really late. Anyways, so the first thing I want to start from Stefan. So basically, I don't know. Okay, so Final 4, right? Drew had just been voted out and we were on a break. And, you know, one of my biggest flaws as a person is that I'm super trusting. It's like a problem that I have with my parents, with my friends, with my like relationships, and I had it with you. And I guess like the thing for me is that you were upset, like really upset. And I don't really know exactly why. And if you want to keep that private, that's totally fine. I understand it. But I guess the thing that just like really irks me is we talked and I was there for you a lot. And I was a really paranoid mess this season, but like, I felt like I was really trying to be there for you as a person, and it just killed me that like you didn't reciprocate that fucking one time. Literally not once. And I don't know, it's just frustrating. I don't know if you remember, but you told me that you're really petty. And do you remember what I said to you when you told me that you were petty?
I don't remember that off the top of my head.
Okay, that's fine. Basically, I told you that sometimes that's a good thing in Survivor because it lets you get to like the point that you need to be at to win. But basically, like my question for you right now is like, why should I not be petty in this vote tonight?
Right. Okay.
Because okay, sorry, to preface that, because I feel sorry, someone like FaceTimed me and then I like didn't get to finish my whole thing. So that's my question, but then like to bounce off of that is like because I feel like this whole game, am I frozen?
A little bit.
Oh Jesus. Anyways, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just
okay. I feel like in this whole game, I tried my best to like not be petty or angry or mean at anyone because I was straight up with a lot of people. I like very rarely lied, but you didn't do that. And it just made me really angry. So why should I not be petty right now?
You felt like I was being, okay, could you just re-say
like,
that?
I felt like I was honest with you, with everyone. Like I did not lie very much. Like I lied maybe 2 times. Right. And like, maybe that's why I got 4th fucking place, whatever. But like I literally had a conversation with you about how you said that you are petty,
right?
And that you like didn't necessarily think it was a bad thing, and I validated that. So what I'm saying right now is, why should I not be petty tonight?
Okay. Well, I think you have the whole thing is, and I'm going to stand by this. You have the whole reason to be petty because I said this in Rites of Passage. I kind of was an asshole to you. I didn't really reciprocate much, and I wasn't really the most truthful with you throughout, like, even after Johnny left and we became, like, closer in this game, I really didn't validate any of that. Like, I kept certain things about the Golden Idol from you. I kept certain plans from you, like the Andrew thing. Like, I kept that from you. So, like, if you want to be petty, that's fine.
Okay.
But I want to apologize if you felt like I wasn't reciprocating that, because sometimes as the jury will like validate, I don't really think of other people's emotions that much. I kind of worry about how I can come off good from this, and I want to try to own up to it this time, as Andrew said, because Andrew keeps pounding that into my head, but apparently I don't listen. So sure. If you want to vote petty, that's completely validated. If you want to vote for me, I will be very happy because I love you as a person and you are great. So.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, I'm gonna like dip out and come right back because I want this camera to be on. I'm sorry. I'm extra. Hold on 1 second.
Didn't expect me to say that.
Okay, I am back with a camera. Okay, so thank you for that. I do think you are a good person. I do, but I'm really mad because you chose. Well, actually, I'm about to get into that. Okay, Brian. So I am going to try to be nice because I really don't like being mean. But I, similar to what Andrew said to Stefan about how Stefan is going to need to like throw a Hail Mary to catch this one, like that's how I feel about you tonight, because for reasons that are about to be said. The first of which is I've been listening to this whole conversation tonight, like this whole Final Tribal Council, and I just don't feel like you want it. Like I feel like you have done a not very good job of like showing us like the things that you did in the game that make you deserve it. Because like I know you're not an idiot. Like I know you're a smart person and like a really nice person and everyone loves you. But like I just struggle because I like can't think in my head and like pinpoint a time where I was like, wow, like Brian did this, Brian did that, like wow. And it kills me because I can do that for Stefan. Like that is one thing that like I will give Stefan the benefit of the doubt on. Like I can pinpoint things that he did. The first thing that really killed me was when you said in your intro speech, you said, I didn't know anyone coming to this game. And I'm sorry. I'm just going to straight out call bullshit on that because I spent 46 days skirting in and out of pre-game alliances and pre-made friendships and blah, blah, blah that I did not have with anyone. Literally every single person in this game I met day fucking one. Like I knew who you were because of main org, whatever, but I had never spoken to you. I had really never spoken to Tommy either. Like I did not know anyone. And I made it to Final Four, whatever. Call me a goat, call me whatever you want. But like I made it to Final Four on moves that I had to make without having fucking numbers. I did not have a single number behind me because I literally had to slither in between groups of people that I knew were inseparable. And it makes me so angry because I like wanted to play so badly, but I couldn't because of people like you and of people like Stefan and of people like Drew and like it just makes me so mad. So anyways, that's the first thing. Then I want to move down the line to when Tommy was voted out. So I wanted Tommy out. And hell, I wanted you out too. Most of the merge, I wanted you out. Because I knew that you were like inseparable from mostly Drew and Stefan, who at the time I considered the two largest threats of the game. So when Tommy was like, you know, doing his thing, I literally thought to myself, I was like, okay, these people are so skittish that like I can literally tell any of them that like this person is gunning for this person, and then look who goes home. Tommy like did not say your name. He didn't. But what I did is I went to everyone and I was like, oh my god, Tommy's saying Brian, LOL. Like, because in my head I was like, okay, so either Brian's gonna go or Tommy's gonna go, and it turned out that Tommy was gonna go, and like that's what I wanted all along. So yes, Tommy didn't say your name, I said your name, but like what I'm saying is it's like things like that like that was for me a huge move because I couldn't get numbers on anyone's side because no one would do anything. Mainly it was you that wouldn't do anything, and it just makes me so angry. And then we get to the Pippa Rock situation, and it's like, okay, like I knew what was going on. As soon as Drew transferred that thing to you, like it was so clearly obvious what was going to happen. But what I didn't know what was going to happen was like I like honestly didn't think that you guys were going to vote Stefan, and I should have like woken my ass up and realized, okay, they're going to vote him so he doesn't actually have to go into rocks. Like I was looking back, that was like so dumb of me not to realize that, and it makes me so angry that I didn't, because like I would have just played a fucking idol on my fucking legacy advantage, whatever, on Stefan, and then Crow would have been gone, and then Drew would have been gone, and then you would have been gone, and that would have been it. So all I'm saying is like I just find it very hard to believe that any of these moves that you like claim are your moves were actually your moves, because that move was like very much so orchestrated by Drew, and Drew told me that. So unless Drew's lying, like I think that is the case. And then like the last thing that just like really put the nail on the coffin for me about like me not wanting to vote you, and I'm so sorry that I'm going on a rant on you right now because I actually think you're a genuine person. I'm so sorry. I hate this. But I think it was in Andrew's speech that you said you were like, oh God, what did you say? I wrote it down because it made me so angry. Oh, you said that like the biggest risk for you was like staying in the minority, like by like voting for people that you knew were like not going to go home because you were like trying to stay loyal. Is that like right?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay,
Kinda,
like
yeah.
so clarify me if I'm wrong, because I'm about to go on a rant about that.
Well, I was just saying, like in the case of like Sarah and Kendall, like okay, the Kendall vote I did not know which way the votes were going because it was
the
based
Kendall
on...
vote was fucking easy as hell. I found out that you guys like made some like weird ass alliance, and I was like, Kendall's gone. Like everyone was like, Kendall's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, Kendall's
but
gone.
The Sarah vote, I told Sarah like I'm pretty sure you're going. I think was that the round she tried to play the idol on herself, or was that the round before?
That was the round before.
Okay, so then it was just I told Sarah like I'm pretty sure you're going, but we were still trying to work for numbers. And when she kept asking me like, are you going to stay loyal? Like I was pretty sure she was still going, but like Sarah was someone throughout the game that I grew so close to that I was just like, I'm not gonna vote for you. So it wasn't like it wasn't that I was like, oh, this is like pity vote. This is just like you were someone that I can't see myself voting out.
So your biggest risk in this game was staying loyal to a failing alliance.
It was one,
like to a failing minority, to a like, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes, I guess. Yeah.
Watered down. Okay. So I think that just speaks for itself. I don't know. My thing is I would have, in this game, if I knew that my alliance was going down, I would have jumped ship so fast that you would not have seen me even go, because I cannot, it is baffling to me, that like someone could vote for you after that's your answer. I'm sorry. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't want to vote for Stefan. Stefan, you like, I don't want to vote for you, but I'm going to, because Brian, you didn't do anything and you did really poorly at Final Tribal Council, and that's where it stands with me. And I would love to become friends with both of you guys after this is over. I think you're both genuine people, but that's where it stands. And I really fucking hope that Stefan gets 6 votes, because like, oh God, I'll be so angry if I played this game and stressed for 46 days to like see Brian win. I'm sorry. Anyways, have a great night. I'm serious. Once it's over, I'm gonna text both of you, and I hope that we can be friends. And congratulations to the 2 of you.
I want to give a shout out to Trace. Holy shit, I just got like a huge insight into this entire game. Are you okay? Brian, do you need a hug?
Wait, I am back. And I am playing Connor for a moment. Okay, so this is from Connor. Congratulations. It says from the 2 of you, but I think it's supposed to be to the 2 of you. Congratulations to the 2 of you. Now the power shifts from you to the jury. 11 people who had a hand in voting you out of this game, directly or indirectly. Now decide which of you will be the sole survivor of Tumblr Survivor Japan. I, in parentheses Connor, should hopefully see you tomorrow night to read the votes. Okay, now I'm out.
So do we get closing statements, or are we just gonna end it? Say stuff. I guess you and go ahead if you want. Okay. Brian, I'll go first, if that's okay. Okay. I'm not gonna hide behind the fact that I was a loyal player, because obviously, as we've learned through Final Tribal Council, not a fucking loyal soul, not a caring soul, not a selfless soul. I took things what I could get. I kept things to myself. Oh wait, shit, Crow. Crow, what are you doing here?
End it. Goodbye.
Okay. Took advantage of what I could get. I'm gonna try to own up to it. And yeah, I played my hardest either way how this season ends. I'm proud with how I played. However snake-like it may be, I will stand by it as the ultimate despair. And good luck, Ryan. Just your turn.
Okay, I know that no one wished to see this as the final 2, and I'm sorry that it is the final 2 for all of your sakes. I'm sorry that our games were not good enough, and I'm especially sorry that my game wasn't good enough. I really did want to redeem myself from what had happened in my past, and unfortunately it doesn't look like I did. I guess my answers were not amazing tonight, and I'm sorry about that too, but I said what I thought I had to say, and if you vote for me to win, thank you. I really appreciate it, and Stefan, congratulations to you too. Final 2, yay. One of us has to win.
We did it. We forced it.